Before moving on to the Rebbe's understanding of Rashi's commentary to Mipri Ha'adama, it's worth noting that in actuality the version that we have today printed in most Chumashim is a combination of two other versions. And this is because when Rashi created his commentary to the Chumash, it was in manuscript form. These manuscripts were then recopied and disseminated amongst the community at large, and invariably what we would now consider to be errors from a purist perspective, possibly personal observations from the owner of the manuscript that were written in the margins, were eventually incorporated into subsequent transcriptions of the manuscript. In one of the handwritten versions from which the printed copy was transcribed, we have a single interpretation from Rashi that it was min hagaruba, that the offering was substandard, in that it was the worst, the leftovers, possibly, that for which Cain had no use. To which we also, in support of this, would be statement from the Medrash Tanchuma that the offering comprised bundles of flax. An alternative option was that the gimel of the word garua was somehow confused with a zayin, so that we have a definition for the Pri Ha'adama that it came from zera, seed, produce, min haba liyado, from whatever happened to be available at the time. This reading is far less critical of Cain's offering. And because of these two versions that were quite widespread at the time, when it came to the printing of the Rashi, the early printers combined both versions, deeming one to be the more viable option. The less viable option was included, but included in a bracket, indicating that it is a possible option, but one that is more problematic than the first option. And we will now look at the merits and the shortcomings of each of these two options and attempt to justify why the second option would appear to be more problematic than the first option.